What else have you noticed here? Has a single arrest been made? Has any charges been filed against these Fed officials who have been caught red-handed insider trading? No, they just get to resign and they get to keep windfall profits. Now, you or me, could you imagine for a moment? You already know I got in trouble with the SEC because one of you out here, who I guess maybe still follows my blog, reported me to the SEC saying that Greg Manarino is front running the market. Well, I'll tell you something. It actually turned out to be a good thing because I actually made a friend at the SEC over this. Anyway, if you or I were caught insider trading, we would be in handcuffs. But if you are a member of the Federal Reserve, public enemy number one, a crime syndicate of the highest order, all you have to do is resign. No charges will be filed. They know this. Don't you think they're sending a message here? No arrests, no charges. It's out of control. You think this is a fair system? You're being raped, literally raped. And if you're not taking advantage of this, there's something seriously wrong with you. So look, in summary here, things are definitely worse than I believed they would be because the Fed did not act today. This tells me that the Fed is determined more than ever to exterminate the middle class. They want inflation to continue to surge. They're going to continue to inflate. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The runoff of the Fed's balance sheet. He mentioned the possibility of a runoff of the Fed's balance sheet a whole bunch of times. What that tells me is the Fed has no intention at all of running off their balance sheet. And the Fed will continue to inflate no matter what. Desperate the Fed is to destroy the economy and destroy an entire class of people. They want to do it faster with more control. Who knows what else they have up their sleeves? So there's another word of caution for you. Be ready for anything. The Fed is keeping that rate hike in their back pocket or up their wazoo so they can pull it out in March so the market's going to go higher. Believe me, that's what's going to happen, all right? You can have your own opinion, but I guess we'll see when we get there. So again here, the reason why, and the only reason why this market, came off of those lows earlier today, we were down across the board hard, was because the market's saying, okay, oh yeah, the Fed, they're going to keep the easy money going, duh. That's exactly what they're going to keep doing, people. It's not going to stop. You have to understand, really, again, the easy money is the Fed's pathway to owning the world. The Fed and other central banks, by keeping the easy money flowing, their debt creation machine in full swing. And how does that work? They issue debt through one door and they buy it back through another door. This mechanism, people, how many times have you seen me do this exact thing here? Explaining that this, issuing debt, buying it back, issuing debt, buying it back, is massively inflationary, and I mean freaking duh. Look around you. You think this is going to stop? You have no idea what's coming down the pike. Are you watching energy here? Crude oil, WTI, ripping higher. Let's see where this goes here with crude. And I'm telling you right now, when we get a pullback in crude, and of course we will at one time, I don't know when that's going to be. I thought it was going to be reasonably soon. That's when you should get afraid. Be afraid when the crude oil drops, because all it's going to do, watch me, ready? It's gone parabolic. We're going to see it pull back, establish a floor, and go higher. So when you see that pullback, it's going to happen. I don't know when. Really, I don't know when. I'm telling you the truth. But when it does, be afraid. Because what is that telling you? I already explained to you that yesterday in my post-market wrap-up. People, I know you can't see it behind you, in front of you, to the right or the left of you, anywhere. But right at this moment, a super tsunami, a freaking super tsunami of debt is coming right at you. It's like a freight train. It's unstoppable. It can't be stopped. Okay, the Federal Reserve can't stop it. And nor do they want to. realize what we're talking about here, people, okay? The Federal Reserve has gone out of its way to overshoot their 2% target. We are now over 7%. They've gone out of their way to make this happen. They didn't raise rates when they had a chance here, and that was maybe a chance they had to slow inflation down. No, they would have to raise rates so dramatically it would cause the stock market to fall by 80%. I know there's a guy out here calling for an 80% crash in the market. You know what? He's right. He's right. I don't follow anyone else's work. That's really the truth. But I've been hearing this 80% number. That sounds about right to me. But the Fed won't do it. They're not ready to do it yet. Why? They're not done. They're not done destroying the global economy, the U.S. economy. They're not done buying assets like there's no tomorrow because it's their tomorrow. They know it's no tomorrow for you and me. That's the setup here. But they're going to make sure they put themselves in the right spot. I keep hearing how the Fed has lost control. Whoever's putting out that narrative, whatever YouTuber, whether I respect them or not, they're wrong. The Fed is in full control. The Federal Reserve is working towards an end. They have been doing this for decades and nothing happens by accident. The surging inflation, what we're seeing around the world, the death of the dollar and fiat currency, the wipeout of the middle class, none of this is by accident. The Fed is in absolute control of the world right now, people. We still have the world reserve currency. Duh! I can't stand it when I hear misinformed people, and again, YouTube bloggers who have no idea about how the market works. And I'm even talking about some people that I like. All right? I don't care who they are. If they're spewing out dog shit, trying to mislead people as to what's really going on, I don't care who they are. I will call them out. My responsibility is to you guys and girls, all of you, right? Not to anyone I happen to think is a nice guy or a nice girl out here on YouTube. No, I'm sorry. No, it's to you guys and you girls. So I believe you get the situation here. So anyway, on the back of what really couldn't have been worse economic news, but it's no secret to you and me. Every month people were losing jobs. You can't know that. The global economy is contracting at its fastest pace ever in history as a percentage of GDP. It's not going to stop, okay? And it's by design as well. But they're going to tell you, oh yeah, we're adding jobs. We're adding them because they think you're too stupid to do a little math. But you're not that dumb, are you? No, absolutely not.
So it took less than 5 years for the national debt to get from $20 trillion to $30 trillion. Basically averaging $2 trillion in new debt every year. So what? Who cares? Who cares that according to the national debt clock, the debt to GDP ratio is now 128. 128. Who cares that economic history shows that when that debt to GDP ratio gets over 90%, it hammers economic growth by about 30%. Yeah, okay, whatever, Yankee. $30 trillion. It's incomprehensible to me, Yankee. So since I can't wrap my mind around it, who cares? Okay. How about this? Every U.S. citizen would need to write a check for $90,000 to pay that debt off. You have that in your bank account? Okay, Yankee. It's humongous. Fine, I get it. But we'll never have to pay the debt off. And we don't have to. Oh, you do, and you will. Make no mistake about it. You will pay this debt off. I will be paying this debt off, either directly via confiscatory taxes like a wealth tax, or indirectly via the ravages of inflation. You will pay. And the dollar is doomed. I mean it. And they don't realize that it's not just the $30 trillion in debt. There are unfunded liabilities that our government has promised to pay, mostly with Social Security or Medicare. That adds up to $160 trillion more in unfunded liabilities on our nation's balance sheet. And if you lump it all together, the grand total is $200 trillion. Do you still not care? Well, I know most of you do who are watching this, like me. Guys, this ends badly. And I think it's going to happen in my lifetime. In fact, I think it's possible that it happens in this decade. We need to rein in our government. We got to balance our U.S. budget. We got to audit and end the Federal Reserve. Nothing short of that's going to save our economy. Nothing short of that is going to preserve our financial freedom and keep us from spiraling into chaos. Yeah, nothing's going to happen. Yeah, Yankee, you're just all wound up. No, nothing's going to happen until it does. You can kick the can down the road until you run out of road, and then it's game over.
Is by keeping the global economy suppressed. You understand? And by continuing to issue more and more and more debt. Debt is their only product. You know that. Central banks have one product. You can sit there and listen to a Federal Reserve chairperson or a president tell you, oh yeah, we have all these fancy tools, and some have big fat tools. You know, that's all Yellowstone talks about, his big fat tools. But they only have one. It's debt and how they manipulate it. That's all it is. One product. But you see, you're not allowed to know that. You're supposed to think they're just, this great thing. No. But you see, none of our representatives will ever tell you, nor any of our presidents will tell you, that the central banks must issue more debt in greater and greater amounts every single day. They can't stop. Go look at the Fed's balance sheet. You think they taper it? How about no? You think they're going to raise rates in any meaningful way moving forward? Absolutely not. They are determined to finish what they started. And this is, again, to own it all. A wipeout of the middle class. I've been telling you this for years and years, and now it's in your face. If you look back at, let's say, the last big meltdown, the 2008 freaking meltdown, right up until the last day, literally, you had the propaganda ministry, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox, with their big, ugly, disgusting, putrid smiles on their face saying, hey, we're doing fantastic. Our economy is fantastic. Everything is great. Even as we had Ben Bernanke over there, the guy who should be in handcuffs, let me explain this to you. I covered this recently. What would happen to you or me if we got caught insider trading, like the Fed presidents and the chair himself does. Oh, the vice chair, he just got to step down. Yeah, this really did happen. And get to keep all his ill-gotten gains. But in my view, Ben Bernanke should be in prison